Welcome back. We're watching Morning Live on SABC 2. Now, believe it or not, by the time he was 7 years old, he had already figured out what he wants to do with the rest of his life. And by that, I don't mean, daydreaming about music, but actively getting involved in the craft and deciding that jazz would be the genre he wants to commit to. By the time he was 10 years old, the Mdantsane born Ayanda Sikade was in a full-time jazz band drama. Well, fast forward to today, the 34-year-old Ayanda has played with jazz giants and music icons that has traveled the world over courtesy of his talent on the drum set. Today, jazz drummer Ayanda Sikade is the young creative we celebrate on Morning Live. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, Liv. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah. I mean, how does a 7-year-old figure out what they want to do and figure out, well, jazz is what I want to do?
Somehow, when you're a young kid and you've got a lot of games to play, and then somehow you choose the ones that really are connected to you.
Yeah.
So somehow the music was more connected to me than the other games that I used to play. So then I got really interested into music.
Describe your household, the one that you grew up in. Was there always music playing in the background somewhere?
No, the music was in fact not far from my house.
Yeah.
There was not music in my house, but there was a band practice close to my house. So I used to go listen and watch the guys do the...
And you were drawn to these?
Yes. It used to fascinate me, seeing a lot of people playing music using the instruments, because at that time there were not many people playing the instruments.
But then who then validated that the decision to go into jazz music?
Oh, jazz music was the only music really that was being there at that time that was playing. I mean, we had a small gospel group, and then this one was more attractive to me. And
who would you say played a major role in getting you into this direction?
I think my first teacher, Lama Kaulana, the guy who started me when I was young, and showed me how to hold sticks and what is the rhythm and what is music. I think that would be the main.
And at what point did you realize that the drum set and music were just your life, and this is all you wanted to do?
No, drums were not really my first choice, if I would say, but maybe it was the only instrument that I was allowed maybe to mess around with.
Yeah.
So somehow I got used to play these drums a lot in such a way that I started to love them a lot.
Take us back to the first time you played with your idol, or the guy that you've always looked up to. I mean, what was that like? And the stars in your eyes, and here you are, you're drumming for this guy.
It was Brazil when he came to university. I was in university in Natal, and then when he came and he asked me to come play with him, this was like, wow. So I think...
How did he find out about you?
Oh, he had a concert there.
Yeah.
And then during the sound check, I came to watch them, and I went to greet him, and he asked me, I told him I'm Ayanda from East London. He said, oh, okay, you're also from the Cape?
Yeah.
I said, yeah. I said, what are you doing here? And I said, I'm here to study music. And he said, do you play anything? I said, yes. And he said, we have to play a bit before. Then I went to jam just before his concert, and then he called me to come and sing with him.
What for you has been the best part of embarking on this journey? It's allowed you to travel, but what else does this come with?
It comes with a lot of experience. I think life is something that you experience through going, So for me, being with this, for instance, the Rainmakers, that we travel a lot in Europe, and I see a lot of different people, and I think that would be the thing for me.
At what point do you think your family said to you, it wasn't just pastime, it was a career? When did they start taking it seriously?
Hey, it took a long time to convince. Maybe after university, that they said, no, let's just leave him to do what he wants to do, because then it took... it was a really...
But even then, did you have to convince them that I want to go study this thing, take it seriously?
Yeah, that one was almost a fight between me and my mother. Yeah. She said I should study medicine.
Yeah.
And I said, me, I want to play music, because this is what I've been doing,
But were you good at maths, though? She must have had some...
Science, maths and biology. Yeah, I was really good.
Who are some of the people that you credit to your success with?
I would like to thank Nduduzo Makatini, because when I was maybe in my mid-20s, I met this guy Nduduzo in Durban, and we learned a lot together, and we played a lot with Brazil, touring Europe as well, and the States. So I think he's one of the
guys. The Rainmakers, we touched on it a little earlier. How has that shaped the Ayanda that's sitting here? I mean, you work with African Kiza on the Rainmakers.
Yeah. We met at the jam session in Grahamstown 4 years ago, And then a year later, we got a call, me in Africa, from Barnes Uster, the bass Swiss player, that we have a tour. And, I mean, for me, this was a shock because I'd never thought out of a jam session a band can come out. You know what I mean? So this is how the Rainmaker started.
Talk to us about your international travels and how those have also contributed to the growth that you've experienced.
You know, when you travel and you attend many festivals, you see how great musicians play in front of you, and somehow you learn through the inspiration that this is how music is supposed to be played, in fact, you know. So this is very helpful, I think, for me. It has helped me a lot.
When you look back now, what are some of the highlights, the best moments of this musical journey?
The freshest one was last year in Villisau when we were playing after Brian Blade and the fellowship, you know. I mean, Brian Blade is like a god of drums, you know. So if I can play just after Brian Blade, this is really amazing for me. I think it will be the
CDs that you've got there, some of your works are there. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I played in all the CDs with Brahib Swahili, African Time, and we did a live recording last year here, and this is Nduduzo's 2 albums, and also the Rainmakers. And I also recorded for Bukani Daya, and a lot of
and all these people have different elements, add different spices to this already. How do they help you grow though? I mean, the Bokani is the Abu Tebi and, you know, Tutuzo and
No, for me, I think it's important to play all music. So I really enjoy to play with everyone, you know, instead of focusing on my own music only. So I really enjoy playing everyone's music because it helps me to expand my knowledge about music and understanding, you know, of different musicians and their qualities.
How important are those jam sessions? I mean, those for me are my favorite. You need to jam somewhere.
No, a musician must jam. I mean, it's a good environment for a musician to. It's healthy, in fact, you know, for a musician to go jam, to hook up with other cats and see, you know, what things can be done, you know, and how others are doing it as well, you know, the new things, you know. And so forth.
Okay, what's on your plate before we say goodbye to you? What's on your plate now? What have you still got? What are you working on at the moment?
No, I'm busy with the Rainmakers. We're playing at the Cape Town Festival, and we're going to East London and Durban. We're going to Mauritius, and then back to Joburg. And then
you make it sound like it's just
we do this all the time. No, this is what we do.
Ayanda, thank you so much for talking to us. One of South Africa's favorite jazz drummers, definitely one of my favorites. Ayanda Sikade speaking to us about the path he has traveled as a jazz musician since the age of 7. He's this week's celebrated young creative here on Morning Live. He's playing at the Cape Town Jazz with the Rainmakers. Let's take an air break. Stay with us.